Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's talk. We've done some videos on BarCon and comic conventions and everything else. And somebody in the comments, basically they're going back and forth about what was said and what was not said with this Frank Gogol situation. And in the end, we don't know. There was enough people who were like, yeah, this kind of stuff goes on. So where something was said, and I stand by what I said in that video that basically, you know, whether you're making a fully racist comment or a subtly racist comment or something that is a joke that plays on racist themes, maybe don't. Just don't. So again, there's lots of extenuating circumstances about what was actually said. Was it said loud or not loud or to a group and other things? But one way not to get yourself in that situation is don't make dumb racist jokes. Just don't. And it's not hard. It's not hard not to. It's actually super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Sorry, I'm doing that too much. Anyway, it's easy not to make stupid racist jokes. I mean, if you're in the habit of doing it, then you might take some practice, but just don't do it. And I think that's just good advice for everyone in 2021, probably in 2010 as well. But it's again, not hard to do. But there's a different part is the guy Critical Blast, who has a channel, by the way. If you're not subscribed, you should go over there and subscribe to his channel. He gets interviews and other things worth listening to. And he notes, so don't go to bars because that's really the only safe thing to do. Yeah, sorta. Yeah, actually, yes. But no, of course you can go to bars. Of course you can have a drink. But here's this crazy thing. Maybe you don't do it with coworkers who you don't really know. Maybe if you are going to bars with people who are in your industry, don't stop at 2 drinks. If you can't handle two drinks, stop at 1 drink. If you can't handle 1 drink, don't go to a bar in the first place. But anyway, maybe that kind of socialization is not something you should do with people who you work with. And I know this is a crazy concept, but if you've been to different conventions, E3, as example, is a gaming convention. CES is a huge consumer electronics show in Las Vegas, which is already a bad start because that's just asking for trouble. But this happens in January. And one of the things that big companies tell you for employees, and when I say big companies, I mean Apple, Google, Microsoft, Intel, places like that, they actually, and I can say this having received one, and I've also worked with people who've gotten these, AT&T, Disney as well. They put out notes about a code of conduct for the show, and lots of people could confirm this. And one of the things that they say is, don't drink excessively, and if you are wanting to socialize or unwind, do it with people who are not your coworkers and definitely not your subordinates. This is a case where you go and you drink with friends you don't work with, people and this is where private rooms or, corners of the bar, this is where it's a good idea. I know this wanders into like dad perch kind of territory, but look, if you want to be successful in your career, don't do things that are the equivalent of shooting your career in the head with a shotgun. And a lot of people do this just very casually. They will make choices that ensure that they are going to get fired or have later headaches. And it's completely avoidable with the simple advice, when you're going to a social setting with a bunch of people you don't really know. And by the way, let's just be on it let me talk to all the comic creators out there, the people who are working in the industry, not the customers, but all of you. And there's quite a few of you at this point I know who listen. Here's an easy suggestion. If you look around the room, look for the moment, turn on that little paranoid part of your brain, the suspicious part of your brain, and look around that room. How many people in this room are competitors to you? And use that word very broadly, meaning maybe you're drawing Superman. How many other people in that room would like to draw Superman? Okay? Those people are your competitors. Now, some of those people might be your friends as well, and I'm sure everybody's very charming and there's lots of smiles, because if there's one thing about the comic industry is that everybody supports each other universally, and there's definitely never any backstabbing to go on. That's absolutely 100% the case. But for the moment, just assume that there might be somebody else in that room who would like to draw Superman. You currently have the job, but somebody else would like to do it. Now ask yourself, do you want to give up drawing Superman? Do you want to keep doing it? Do you like the check that you get from drawing Superman? If you do, then don't do things that puts that in jeopardy. Things like getting hammered to the point that you lose control over your brain, mouth, and bodily functions, getting up on a table and peeing off of it when you're not in the bathroom, calling somebody a racial slur, trying to put your arm down somebody's the front of their blouse, grabbing somebody on the ass in a way that doesn't say, "Hey, way to go, team," or at all. Actually, don't patting somebody on the butt works on the football field, maybe not in a bar. Lots of different things. Hey, are you a hugger? Here's something that you might pay attention to. When you get in a social setting with a bunch of people who are not really your friends, but just people you work with, do they describe you as a hugger? If they do, stop hugging people. You hug people too much. They may be smiling and joking, saying, Bill over here is a hugger. But they're what they're really saying is, be careful. He likes to pull you in close and rub around on you. That's what he's saying. They're not introducing you. They're sending a warning to the person you're about to grope. Maybe don't hug. Maybe hugs is not the thing to do with people who are coworkers. It's not a sign of endearment. Like, I don't shake hands. I'm a hugger. Nobody wants a hugger. Your mom, your grandmother, maybe your kids. They want hugs. But the inker that you met once at a convention a year ago, they don't want hugs. No, don't be a hugger. I know that some people, I had somebody once go, over in Europe, they kiss as a greeting. Nobody wants that in the U.S. Don't do that. I don't think not many places in Europe they want that either. Bluntly, you don't try and be quirky in ways that involve you putting your body up against somebody else. Don't try and be quirky in ways that involve you doing a Dave Chappelle like skit. If you're middle 30s white guy to a bunch of random strangers, that's not what you should do. That's just dumb. I think if you're going to socialize and you're going to a mixer of a bunch of colleagues or / competitors, maybe just chill with that. Get high or do lines or drink in the company of people you trust, not coworkers, really trust, like, very close friends. Ideally, people who are not in the industry, people who are not going to one day use that to, murder your career. That would just be good advice. I don't know. This BarCon stuff is funny because it's entirely avoidable. It's absolutely very easy not to make an ass out of yourself. It's very easy not to find yourself one day logging onto Twitter and somebody calling you a racist. And granted, the person who's doing that absolutely is doing it for opportunistic reasons. The guy who's being called out, Gogol, nobody called him out when he was doing little indie books and things nobody had ever heard of. He gets a slightly more profile job with Power Rangers, and then suddenly this accusation comes out. The timing of the accusation, 100% suspicious. Absolutely. If this guy was a predator and a threat and a racist and all these other things, if he was all this stuff, why in the world would you wait 2, 3, nobody can quite pin down however many years before you'd pull that out? Definitely dodgy. Definitely. However, don't, if you carry wood to a fire, you pour gasoline all over the fire, and then you hand somebody a box of matches. True, you didn't light the fire, but you are a moron for basically setting yourself up. And you absolutely set yourself up. So don't. Yes, you can absolutely go to a bar, but know your limits. And if you're going to drink and really have a good time, and I am definitely in favor of having a good time, do it with people you trust. Do it with people you know. Do it with people that you have a relationship with. Don't do it strangers. And don't, if you're drinking hard and you notice that random strangers keep coming up to you because for whatever reason, the place you picked is very accessible, Go to a different place. Don't put yourself in that situation. You won't be canceled or fired or have to write really sappy, stupid things like we must believe all accusers, except this one. This one is lying. But generally, we must. I want the points for being able to say that you should believe you should always believe everybody. I want the social credit for saying that. But this time the one was totally lying. Total lie. I mean, you sound like an idiot. Don't do that. Anyway, there you go. Thanks, Critical Blast, and thanks. I mean, coming up next on Perch, you should drink water once a day. It's healthy for you. Thanks for listening.